long time. Really long time. A very special Thursday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Want to say a very special morning to the Bridge Nation, my colleagues, listeners. A breezy Thursday morning it is in my neck of the woods. Not quite sure what kind of weather you're having where you are here in Jamaica, but where I am, it is breezy, knocking down everything it can knock down. So thanks for joining us on this here breezy Thursday morning. So we did tell you that we have Dancehall Queen Carlene online to talk about her fundraiser. Good afternoon, Carlene.
Good afternoon, Sister Kelly. Good afternoon. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am okay. I'm okay. You know, you have to give thanks and praise for seeing the day of light, the light of day. So I'm okay.
Right. You know what, and for those who don't know, or you should know by now, that Carlene is also on the Bridge 99 FM, right?
Yes.
So she has this sexy program on the bridge.
Yes. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Yes.
Yes, right. Let me use the opportunity before we even start to talk to send condolences to your family and the Marley family on the passing of your nephew, right?
Yes, Joseph Marley.
Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, man. And please pass that on to your sister.
I will.
Right.
I will.
All right. So this is another sister, right?
Yes, this is my bigger sister, Pinky.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about her.
You know her, no, probably you don't remember her. So she was the girlfriend of Tiger way back when. So she's in the music video Come Back to Me with Tiger and Anthony Marvel. And she's beating Tiger at the end with the bread. Yes. She's also in Beanie Man's North Gals. She's in Chakadima Supplies Murder She Wrote. She's in one of Super Chat. She's been there with me.
Right.
It's just that she's a little more, conservative and don't like to talk. She's shy.
Okay.
But I credit my career and me being who I am as a dancer / fashion model to her. She's who brought me into dancehall.
Okay. All right. So that's real big sis.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So she has been having issues. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So she has stage 4 cancer, the aggressive type. It's not even a name for something, because from what I've been told through, my other sister taking her to the doctor, going with her, it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it started in her breast as a little lump. I must say this to people. Pinky was not sick. Nothing was wrong with her. She's just the kind that does her regular checkup yearly. Yes. She doesn't miss doing her yearly physical. And so they did the mammogram and apparently saw a little lump in her breast. They removed it, got it tested, and found out that it was, but they said it was nothing that was anywhere, just a lump at the time. This was 2020. And they gave her radiation. In 2022, January, she went back for a follow-up and checkup. And this is when she heard it was in her lymph node.
It was where?
In the lymph node.
Oh, okay.
And so we said, okay. They said, well, they need to do the chemotherapy on her. We did the chemotherapy. She went to do tests. They said her body did not take the chemo and the cancer started to spread. So they were going to give her radiation. They gave her, I think way too much radiation, and this is really what broke her down. She went to 53 pounds from 152. She's 5'8".
Wow. So, okay, she took the radiation, and it is my understanding that she has now been doing alternative treatments.
Yes, she's been doing alternative holistic treatment along with a pill that I am not disclosing because apparently it's a test trial one, but it's working.
Oh, it
The
is
two things-
working.
It is working. Yes, I think he's in Jamaica. He came for Joseph's funeral, my nephew's funeral.
Yeah.
In November, I couldn't be having this conversation with you. I was way too devastated because we thought we were going to lose my sister.
Wow. Wow. And then
Yeah.
you just lose your nephew again.
In December. So in November, trust me, it was really bad because she wasn't keeping in the blood. So it came in, it went out. And so we started this treatment, and I know there's a God and He has her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So true. I love that, Carlene. Because at the top of the day, I did so everything there,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
you're
let me
telling
tell
me.
you,
Yes.
her will to survive is what the second key thing.
Yeah.
Her will to survive, her spirit is high. She makes fun of what happened to her, how she looks. I can't tell you some of the jokes, but she cracks. We're on the phone with her. We are ball and a laugh at the same time.
Oh my God.
Yes, lost her sense of humor. I was on a program last night with one of my friends out to Canada, Christine Jackson, and so this guy that she knows. So the guy come on the thing, and he says, "Pinky, you know it's what talk to ear. After I crack me the fun." The whole program just started to laugh.
But that is a wonderful therapy to you, Carlene.
It is. So she helps us, believe me, with the spirit that she keeps. She helps us to feel okay.
Yes.
Like, yes, we're looking at her, we're seeing the changes, we're seeing how she, how her body has depleted, but her mind, her will to survive, her spirit is there. There's days when she's really down, because especially after doing both chemo and radiation, and none of them worked for her. So that was very disappointing to her.
Yes.
And she was hoping to hear good news. And each time she went, it's that this thing was just spreading more. So it left from one place to another till they just, wind it down. It's all over.
Wow.
Stage 4.
Wow. There's something else that we need to discuss, Carlene, and it's how expensive cancer treatment is.
Very expensive. Anybody knows, especially she didn't do a regular job. She was self-employed when away from doing dancehall, then she went into doing her hair, stuff. So it is very expensive. I know you have some people have their own opinion, and I really wish people who have nothing good to say shouldn't say anything, because this is a person, she's alive. I'm alive. My whole family is here. We read. I can read. And when you write stuff that, just callous to somebody who, she never made herself sick. She never chose to be sick.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're spending thousands of US dollars, it's going to be finished.
Of course it's going to be finished. That's why them call it Donny.
Yeah.
It will done no matter how much you have.
Yeah. And people might think, okay, they misunderstand holistic treatment. They think it's some bush and just put some. No. And it's very expensive also.
Okay.
Remember, it entails changing your diet.
Yes. That is another expense,
Listen, eating organic food, especially in Jamaica,
is expensive.
Okay.
But can I say something, Carlene? Everywhere. It is expensive.
Everywhere, but we think would I get good callaloo and cabbage down in Jamaica? You get what I'm saying? It's not so. It's not
sometimes $500 for one cabbage.
Let me tell you, the local produce in the supermarket is more expensive than the import. I'm not getting that.
Yes, they will not see it. And you are so right. And it just makes us have to wonder what people thinking. What are the authorities thinking? Are they telling us that we're not to live? Are they telling us
Yeah,
we have to be rich to live? What
yeah,
is the message?
yeah. Because the cheapest stuff in the supermarket is the ones that we should not put in our mouth, much less our
Exactly.
body. Yeah.
Exactly. But
Sodas and chips,
oh my goodness, you are
candies,
so
those are the
right.
things. Yeah.
But
So
it is almost like a program. It's like them program poor people to eat garbage.
yeah, so they can end up getting the diabetes, the hypertension, the cancer, all the things that these things cost. So the money, I don't know why. Why? Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, all right, let's talk about the fundraising event now. So, let's talk about it.
So I started this last year after she did the first chemo and we heard it didn't take, not knowing there was going to be radiation. So I started with something and I knew the radiation would have also been expensive. And so Lena British first did a birthday party and she gave a contribution which was, very helpful.
Right.
Then Beanie Man, who is our very good friend and bounty killer, came through to say, all right, we'll do something. So we had a show in Mecca for her from them. It was a rainy weekend, so it didn't turn out the way we wanted it because of the rain. We had that flood rain last year. But it started her treatment anyway. We did make something, and Mecca Nightclub, the Whirlwind Entertainment Group led by Mr. Michael Dawson, he comes through to say, listen, I am here with her, I'm here for you and her and the whole entire family. So any day we can choose to do whatever, I am here for you.
Good.
So it made things easy. We Paul from Stone Love, a
Yes.
very good friend, mine too, said, listen, just let's choose a date that we're both available. And so last year we had a private birthday party for her at Mecca. It was just 50 of our very close friends and family because she hadn't started anything yet. And so this year when she says, what are you going to do? And I said, well, we're continuing with this treatment and we want to make sure she gets the best care possible.
Right.
And it requires a lot of money.
Yeah, I know this. I know this for sure.
Yes.
Something, Carlene, I'm listening to you talk and I remember you on the road with us, when you used to come on the road with us,
Yeah.
and you have such a beautiful, kind spirit. I remember you taking up babies with them nose and run, them nappy,
Yes.
dirty, and you don't see none of that. You
No.
take them up, you kiss them, you give them things. You have such a giving spirit that
Thank you.
for you to be asking for help now, trust me, we need to rise to the occasion.
Thank you. And let me tell you with her, so in the middle of all that's happening to her, Elise, she still found time to go get stuff for sassafras and tiger
She found time to do what?
to buy stuff for Tiger and sassafras because they needed stuff. So she was
Right.
helping Tiger before she got sick. And whatever journey I'm on in helping anybody, she's there with me. She's
Right.
overseas and she will, be on the avenue, look for sale. And this woman going through chemotherapy and still worrying about two other persons that she,
Yes.
think was less fortunate than her in their health.
Right,
care
right.
system. And when she
Wow.
did it, I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, my sister
Wow.
called and said, don't make she go. Oh God, she can't manage. She almost dropped down on the road. Yeah, that's her nature.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. So at this fundraising event now, tell us the venue, time, admission, that kind of thing.
Right, so it's Mecca Nightclub, 67 Constance Spring Road, inside a marketplace, right next to Usain Bolt Traxton record. It's the 7th of February, which is our birthday is actually the 8th, but we're going to cut a cake on the 8th at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
It's the 7th of February, um, 9 o'clock. We have Sizzla Kalanchi will be performing, and of course the sweet melody from Stone Love, and a lot of also other entertainers because they've all reached out.
Right.
But
I'm sure
people have to,
the
yeah,
entertainers will come out for both of you.
yeah, and it's $2,000 for regular, 3,000 for VIP, and there's table. You can also donate when you come
Right.
to the cause, and if you want, if you can't even come, you can DM me on Instagram, Dancehall Queen Carlene. I have Zelle and any other means because I've gotten. There's a little girl, Kavi. She just bought some tickets. She's 21 years old. I know her from she's about 6, and her mother, Coach Marie. And I'm telling you, it touched my heart today. She left where she was and she said, Auntie, I won't be able to come to the venue, but I'm buying tickets. And she
Right.
gave me the money. So I said, I don't have any. She says, no, just put it towards Auntie Pinky. And that was,
Right.
she says, when I was little, I don't forget, you always treated me well. It just gave me an awesome feeling today when this little girl, I still see her as a little kid.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, people, as they say, it's not what you expect always come to you.
True.
It's the unexpected.
True. True.
Yeah, so it's at Marketplace, Tuesday coming at Marketplace, 9 o'clock, Sizzla Kalanchi. It's Pinky's birthday party and fundraiser.
Right. Please tell her happy birthday when it comes.
I will, and on the Wednesday, we're going to Sizzla Kalanchi here at Judgment Yard, because I don't know if you know Mama Elise. He has a river at the back of
Yes.
it. So he says, listen, we're going to celebrate her life because he
Oh
knows
my
her.
goodness.
Yeah, he knows her way from he's a little one. He said, Pinky, instead of know nobody kinder than Pinky.
Wow. It
So he says,
it's in
after the
no blood.
party, yeah.
That's how I remember you. I always tell people say, when you're out there, you're hot and you carry on. And I say, there's a side to dancehall Carlene. No.
True.
Dancehall Carlene is a humble, beautiful spirit. She don't pipe at all.
Yeah, that's true. And that's from our mother. My mother was that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Pinky obviously is the same thing.
Oh, and worse.
And more.
Yeah.
More.
I'm
All
telling
right.
you, right now, she's worrying about another person who has cancer.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. If she gets $1, she's still thinking to give somebody who she thinks is less fortunate. That's why she said, listen, Carlene, take charge, because she will go pay for somebody else something and forget about her. Seriously.
So Carlene, if whoever wants to contribute, they need to know that, like that 21-year-old, them can just give what them have, right?
Yes. It's no pressure to anybody to do. If it's $1 or $1 million, it's totally accepted.
Right.
I didn't do the GoFundMe based on, as I tell you, people are rude and callous and they don't listen to what they're saying when they're saying it about other persons. And I also want to big up Auntie Donna. I was on her life because Pinky used to date her father way back when. And so she always speak of her, and we were on the program. So a couple of people from Auntie Donna's program reached out to me
Yeah.
to say they want to buy a bottle or a ticket. Yeah.
But can I tell you something though, Carlene? People will always be mean, because there are
I
people
know.
who are mean. But
Yeah.
the GoFundMe is an internationally recognized way of contributing. And
Right.
I think you should just block out them people there and do what you have to do for Pinky.
Right. It's because also it was the time of arranging it. So I said, you know what? I put my faith in my universe and my God that
Yes.
it's going to work out at the event where, I can then take it from there.
Right.
Because this was, Susan just came to say, I want to celebrate your birthday. So it wasn't nothing planned from last year.
Right.
it was just that, okay, we're going to celebrate her birthday, but no, you know, so when he said that and I started to think and I said, you know what, this is what I need. I want her to get the best care, continue
Right.
getting the best care, and of course, funding is a must.
Absolutely. Well, Carlene, thank you very much for sharing all of this with us because it makes a difference when we actually hear it from you and hear your side of your sister's story and who your sister is and who she continues to be and why it is so important for us to do for her what she has been doing for others.
Yes, yes, that's so true. Telling you, she has family people that I only learned recently that they're not related to me. She had people that she's been looking after that I swear I was related to. Only for the people to tell me, no. I said, people just, I said, you're not her niece? No. You're not her cousin? No. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're sending up the prayers, Carlene. We're sending up the prayers. I know you're good. I know that you're good people, and I know the Most High is going to be with you. I'm looking at your picture here now, and I'm just remembering you on the road with people. You just love people. I would just watch you. You know, I would just watch you and say to myself, boy, you know, you're in a hype business, but you're a humble sister.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to big up Bobby Clark and Cynthia Clark. Big up to the Irie team. Yes, they're Irie to the max. I went to school with Bobby Clark. I did.
Okay.
So
Which school?
Excelsior High School.
Oh, good school.
Yes, good school. Yeah, so, you know. And of course, my producer, Daniela Doyle. Big up Daniela. And who else I was to big up? Anyways, everybody know, big up, but big up the bridge team, and thank you, Mama Elise, for having me on this morning. I truly appreciate it.
It is a pleasure, my sister, and we're praying for Pinky, and we know that the Most High will see her through, and will see the family through.
Definitely. Thank you so very much. Lorraine
Bless
and
you.
Elijah, Keisha, love you guys. Crystal, Ryan, big up, and Dickie, yeah, my little crew, you know.
All right. Bless of yourself, sis, and keep sweet. Take care. All right. Wow. You know, as I said a while ago, and I really mean it, lovely family. Lovely family. I didn't know Pinky the way I know Carlene, but Carlene, in describing Pinky, is describing the person I know in Carlene. Beautiful set of sisters. So we had a conversation a while ago with Dancehall Queen Carlene, and it's about a fundraising concert. It's going to be next week, Tuesday. That's the 7th of February, right before Pinky's actual birthday. Her birthday is on the 8th of February, and herself and Sizzler and of course friends and family will be celebrating on the 7th. It's going to be a live performance by Sizzler Kalonji. You heard Carlene say other artists are going to be passing through, and the sweet sounds of the immortal Stone Love, and part proceeds will be used to offset the cost of her sister's cancer treatment. Give generously, please do, because these are people who always give generously. Bless you all as a family. Bless you, Pinky. So we're going to take a break. All right. So we're going to be having a conversation with Marla Brown, and Marla is the daughter of Dennis Brown. And Marla, get ready, because we're going to be talking about your dad, but we're also going to be talking about you and your accomplishments and what has been happening to date. So first of all, welcome to the Bridge 99 FM as we untangle in the tri-state. Good afternoon, Marla.
Good afternoon, Mama Elise. How you doing?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm very well myself. I won't complain at all. We give thanks always.
All right, right. Okay, so are you Dennis Brown's youngest daughter or youngest child?
Youngest child and youngest daughter.
Okay, all right. Fine.
All of the above.
All right. You know, I'm always curious to know, because I know that musicians and just creative people travel so much that sometimes their children hardly get to see them. How much time did you actually spend with your dad getting to know him?
Uh, Pretty much all. Well, my dad passed away when I was 12.
Okay.
So pretty much my whole time, because my mum and dad were married. So my mum is
Right.
Yvonne Brown, who is Yvonne Special, which was my dad's label. So it's literally when dad wasn't on the road touring, he would be home. And then when
Okay.
he was finishing tour, we demanded he came back home.
Okay. You demanded that he came. I love that. I love that. Our mom demanded that he came back home.
Yeah, he had to, because we're all home, we're waiting, and those days we didn't have social media and all of those things, so it was
Right.
always a phone call to make sure that is tour finished? Okay, you coming home?
Right.
So when we finish school, you'll be home? Okay.
Nice.
So as long as you saw dad's suitcases in the hallway, you knew he was home.
What are some of your fondest memories of your dad?
Just family time, really. My dad, you'll never see my dad without a smile, and literally that's how he was at home. It was always almost, I call us the Brown Brady Bunch. Do you know that movie? The Brady
The what?
Bunch movie. The Brady Bunch movie.
Oh, the
It's basically just,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I've always called us the Brown Brady Bunch, because it's always just about family activities, just conversation. It's just like my family were and still are actually my best friends, and my dad was like, it was like completing the jigsaw when he was home, and it was just always just joyful and loving.
Nice.
So those are my fondest memories with him, just family time.
I hear you saying how loving he was. And can I tell you something? I think that if we took a vote, Dennis Brown would easily win at being the most lovable reggae singer of all times.
I agree. I definitely agree. He definitely wore his heart on his sleeve and always had a positive outlook no matter what happened or what was going on. He was very much a fan of just loving on people and bringing
Yes.
people together.
Right, absolutely. Did you get to know your granddad? Because I remember him so very well, Dennis's dad.
Unfortunately not. It was only shortly after my dad had passed. We kind of lived in Jamaica for a little while.
Right.
And that was the only time I really got to spend with my granddad, but he was fairly sick himself.
Okay.
So we didn't really have a bond, if that makes sense. So I didn't
Right.
really get to know him, but I heard many stories about his life from my aunts and my uncles and my mum.
Right. I can imagine because I knew him when he was not sick. I knew him when he was, a strong, healthy man.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. It is just so obvious to me that a lot of who he is what Dennis became.
Oh, definitely. My mum always said my granddad was very strict with my dad. Even dad used to say it as well when it came to education and being a real gentleman.
Yes.
And I think my dad embodied all of those characteristics as he grew older, and he always paid respect to his dad. Even with his shows, he would always pay homage or call my granddad on stage. So yeah, it was a nice relationship that they had.
You said he was a true gentleman, handsome old
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you were born in England and you
Yep.
launched your music career there?
No, actually in Jamaica. So I left London in 2014, literally for a holiday, because I had just stopped dancing professionally in ballet, street and contemporary dance. And I just, you get to that point where you kind of want to figure out your next step. So I just went to Jamaica just to have a break and figure things out. And at that time, Jaria were doing a tribute show to Dad. And they asked me to perform, so I did a little medley of Dad's songs. Hadn't planned to be a singer or anything like that, and everyone just said, "Oh, you should start singing, etc., etc." And I was like, "You know what? I think I will." And but I had already written "Here Comes the King" for Dad because I've always loved writing. And I performed it, and it just went down so well. And then from there, I released my first single, "Better Days," while I was in Jamaica, and it literally just took off from there. So there was no plan. I literally just prayed on everything, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to pursue a career in music.
Right. Really from a very creative family, because you also appeared on Britain's Got Talent dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we got to the semi-finals for Britain's Got Talent with my company Unity Dance Company, and I've was dancing professionally for about 14, 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my mum's also very creative as well, because her and dad wrote many songs together. So yeah, we've kind of always just been vibrant,
Right.
so to speak. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Where are you now in your career?
Well, I'm literally just finished my new project that will be releasing early in the summer. And I also manage Dad's estate for my mum. So I've kind of been on the business side and doing licenses and copywriting. I've toured so many countries, and I've released so much music. So I'm in a really good place at the moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really, really fortunate place, I must say. I'm so grateful. And obviously, I don't normally tell people who I am, but I think that's because I wasn't raised to be any way other than humble.
Right.
And again, where we didn't have social media, I didn't actually know how big Dad was. It was only once social media and the internet got extensive, I realized the impact Dad had. So I've just always known Dad as a singer, but I didn't know how major he is within that scene. So I've just always introduced myself as just Marla. And then once people find out who I am, it's literally just love. It's just so beautiful. So it gives me a different type of energy and welcoming. So yeah, I've just been very blessed.
Nice. That sounds excellent. It's nice to know that, because that's exactly what, you need to know that there were generations of Jamaican singers who tried to sing like Dennis Brown. That was how they got in the industry, singing a Dennis Brown song or trying to sing like Dennis Brown. That was like the ultimate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I do see that as well, but I think it's an honor. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I definitely know Dad would have been humbled by that as well. It's just it's sometimes though it does scare me. I remember I was touring with Luciano in Europe a few years ago, and he sounded so much like Dad. It brought me to tears.
Oh my God!
It moved me so much, and I couldn't believe. Because if you just closed your eyes and you can just picture Dad, and obviously being at home and Dad singing so much every day, you just get used to his voice. And I think it took a little while before I could really listen to Dad's music again. I had to it probably took me about 10 years before I could really enjoy his music.
Yeah.
Because I literally had to convince myself that he was still on tour rather than that he had died. And now I kind of have to prepare myself. So if I do go to an event or a show or something, I have to tell myself, okay, these are the songs they're going to play.
Yeah.
Because if it's a song that I don't normally hear, it will throw me off, and then it will almost feel like Dad's there. And I think that's just the power and the projection in his voice. It just blows your mind, and it makes you feel like he's still here. And I think that's why we love him so much, and that's why his music is so timeless, because it just always sounds new. It's like a new conversation, just with melody.
Do you have a favorite Dennis Brown song though?
Oh yeah, I do. I've got many. Obviously it changes depending on what you're going through, but
Right.
Inseparable is my all-time favorite, mainly because I love love, and my mum and dad wrote that song together. And it's just, for me, it's their love letter to each other. And then No More Will I Roam is one of my favorites with Dad, because he'd always sing that to me when we called to see when he was coming home.
Which one is that?
No More Will I Roam.
Oh, No More Will I Roam. Okay. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so that always cheered me up. So I always play that song when I can with him.
It's interesting how music impacts us, you know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna seal up the conversation now. But before we do that, though, you were saying that growing up as a kid, Dennis Brown was just dad.
He's just dad.
And not so much this big superstar that the world knew him as. Well, let me just use the opportunity to say congrats to Dennis Brown, and by extension, your mom, you, your siblings, his entire family, on being rated the greatest Jamaican singer of all time. And this is according to Rolling Stone's 200 greatest singers of all time. He ranked 67 out of 200. And beating, I mean, some singers that we would not even think possible, even those of us who are diehard fans.
Literally, honestly, I'm in such awe of my dad, and I think it's because that's probably why it doesn't like blow my head up to know how loved Dad is, because he worked so hard, blood, sweat and tears, but it was just the love was at the core of what he did. And you know, there's so much music that I still am learning, and while I manage the Dad's catalogue and everything, and he just tells so many stories. And you got to think, Dad passed away at 42.
Yeah.
And look how much he contributed to music itself. It's just beautiful. So I'm always in awe of him. And you know, there's generations, even my nieces and my nephews, they love their granddad Dennis's music. They're always playing his music. He's always on their Spotify playlist. Like, they absolutely adore him, and that brings so much warmth to my heart, just to know that no matter what age you are, there's always a song that you can resonate with. And Dad is a true storyteller and a real life novelist.
Marla, this was such a beautiful conversation. I think I know you now.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your...
I want to say. I'm just going to chat about when I'm ready. Yeah, I just love my family, and I'm just so grateful to witness Dad's work, because when you're young, you just think, oh, he's not home, or you want him to pick you up from school. And then as you get older, you really get to see what Dad was really doing all those years. And it's amazing. Like, this one human could just do so much work, and with a smile. And that is just beautiful within itself.
It is. Continue to represent your family. You represent your family so beautifully, and we feel the love that you have. And we'll keep in touch, not just every Dennis Brown birthday, but we really need to keep in touch even with some of your new projects, that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much. I'm upset my camera's not working, because I really wanted to connect, but I don't like technology. Don't know how to work these things.
All right, so we're going to take a break. So thanks again, and
thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the listeners, and thank you for continuing to play Dad's music and just full joy them.
Most welcome. Marla Brown, last child, last daughter of Dennis Brown, with a sweet conversation a while ago. We soon come. I see you dancing, that means you're hearing. All right, great sign. All right, so welcome to Untengle on the Bridge, and of course also the Irie Jam Radio in the Tri-State. So let us do this quickly, but try to get in as much as possible. Is the Island Music Conference a celebration of Reggae Month or just music?
it's a celebration of both, because we're all about Caribbean music. So the naming of it as the Island Music Conference is purposeful, because what we're looking at is a bigger footprint. So 3 million Jamaican people as opposed to 40 million Caribbean people, so that we don't have to quarrel that you're taking us off of a chart, or we don't have to worry about not collecting an award wherever you think we should collect it, because we are a force to be reckoned with, and we're also aligned with the continent, which, as you look at that now, our numbers are almost to infinity. So that's what it's about. But the aim really is the empowerment, growth, and development of Caribbean music post-pandemic. What are the things that we're learning? What are the things that we need to know? I have Adam from Ineffable, president of Ineffable Records, coming in, and he's saying that it's the best time right now for persons to be doing music. And so as he speaks to that, and we have an interview with him actually that I'm sending out today, where he's talking about how as an independent artist, it's the best time for you, and it's not hard. It's just for you to understand how to do it. We have Loretta Gadsden coming in from BMI. We have Madeline Nelson coming in from Amazon. We have a full YouTube day on Wednesday, February 8th, it runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They've broken it out into segments. At first, they're looking at just our content providers, because they're pleased with the numbers of content providers that we have coming out of Jamaica. And then they're also doing a panel where they're speaking directly with and to singers and songwriters. And then they're speaking to the producers and the managers. And then there's just a general YouTube 101. So the type of information that we're able to access here is just tremendous. It's just like, it is the greatest number of media powerhouses, of music industry powerhouses gathered in one place ever in Jamaica and in the Caribbean.
All right. You said earlier on that now is the best time based on that music executive?
Yeah, Adam Gross, president of NFL.
Right, to be doing music. Is somehow that feeling not translating to us here in Jamaica? So my question to you would be, what about the conference can help that to translate to the average creative person here?
And so this is it. The creative person has to do everything to access this conference, because when it is that over 50 speakers are being flown in from across the world, right, to enable the discussion and the education, so that we can understand, how do we maximize on these platforms? How do we monetize on these platforms? There is a panel that is speaking to royalties, publishing, copyright. There is a panel that is speaking to contracts. There's a panel that's speaking to anatomy of a record. There are various panels that cover every single thing that you would like to talk about. And then the ability to have one-on-one meetings. So if you get there on time and you sign up early, you're able to have one-on-one meetings with all of these persons.
I'm happy to hear about the one-on-one, because there's a feeling among a certain section of the music fraternity that music conferences like these are more exclusive than inclusive. And I'm hearing you talk about the panel discussions and the topics that they're going to talk about. Are they going to really be broken down in simple terms that your average artist can come and not just forward, but also overstand?
You know, Elise, I'm glad that you asked that question, and it is exactly so, because one of the things that we're doing is that we're making sure that there are pre-discussions with all of the panelists. So for every single panel that we're doing, The panelists meet from even before the time that they get into Jamaica. And each panelist is mixed, each panel is mixed. And so not only do you have externals, you have Caribbean people and you have Jamaican people on the panels. And in terms of breaking out the discussion into something that you can understand, and what we did was to speak to a number of artists, a number of managers, a number of producers to see what is it you want to talk about. I mean, one of the panels that's the most exciting for me, all of them, I love them, but I want to talk about reggae to the world, but not Jamaica. Reggae to the world, but without Jamaica, and has a question sign at the end of it. And that's a number of persons, including Jamaica, looking at, okay, why is it that we may not be doing the numbers that we want to in a large scale? What do I mean by this? Every time you talk about the successes of Jamaican acts, it's almost like you always are able to break it out on one hand or two hands, and maybe not the full two hands. How do we make sure that we're pushing out teams of entertainers? How do we make sure that your team that surrounds you understands perfectly what to do? So that, okay, all right, you start from nowhere, so your brother managing you. All right, cool. Your best friend managing you. Okay, great. However, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with nepotism. But are they interested enough that they are actually learning? Is the artist understanding even financial literacy, so that you, your business partner, your manager, your roadie, your producer, whoever is on your team, is it really a team? Do you know what you're doing?
Judith, there's so many things that a conference like this, in my mind, has to tackle, that I don't say, oh, you can do it with one conference, because even just listening to you here now, is there going to be, because what is I find to be very urgent right now is to help. Dancehall is a vibrant industry, but they need help with composition. Even if you're going to do a slack song with full of taste and composition, and they need help.
What have you done to disrupt? Shaggy always uses a term that he calls disrupting, and he speaks to his own career, and as he tries to also foster this education amongst the rest of artists, is a thing like he said, you know what? He went out into the world to do his music. And the bottom line is quite a number of people out there doing music. How are you going to make sure you're seen? So he says
exactly.
He tries to be disruptive. And just come with something else. I remember there are a few songs that we can speak to when we hear them. There was a song, Jesus, I just had it in my mind and it slipped. And I remember the first time I had heard that song, and he was talking about how he need a woman, I want a woman. And just the way that it was done, you had to listen to it, because he came as a disruptor. I find I went to be a disruptor,
It most certainly is. And him have a nice, like a neat way for slack.
Yeah. And when him come and him say, lava girl.
But you know something though, Judith, a lot of what we're hearing now and not approving of is these artists' ways of being disruptive,
Yes.
So how do they understand to when I say palatable, I mean I'm the church we're keeping, but at the end of the day, we still need to understand that you have to be attractive to listeners.
All right, so markets, who is your target? Even understanding those things, where do you find your audience? I want to say, and I do believe that a lot of Jamaican women my age will acquiesce, that Lady Saw was our favorite artiste in our 20s. She was saying everything that we were thinking, but we were
so true.
And so what Saw did was, every time a dance keep, if Saw is on it, every time a stage show keep, if Saw is on it, you're there.
Yes.
As a woman, There are a couple of songs. The other day we went out to an all-white event, and we'd be there with our wine glasses and our heels and well-behaved, a certain type of woman, elite. You see when the DJ play Position.
Oh my, see, so she get in a position.
Mister, you want. So this is it for us to understand and embrace who we are, culture, and what we have as music, and the many different genres and subgenres. And rather than have a quarrel even about it, let us look to solutions. Here is the music that we have managed to birth, and we speak to reggae, and before that we had ska and we had rock steady, and since we've birthed reggae, we've also birthed dancehall, and there are other things coming out right now that we have not even given names really. And the thing is, the influences are black influences. The other day when Burna Boy came, mama, I was listening to his music because I was working on the team. I was really paying attention to his music, and I felt like I was reacting by memory.
Yes,
Pieces of me that he was touching.
Interesting.
And the music, it was. You know, we're black women and we work with our hips.
Yes, we do.
But it's from memory we carry it with we.
Yes.
And so rather than quarrel about what I guess because the African continent embraces us so much, we have to embrace them too.
Yes, I agree with you.
We have to,
Judith, we're running out of time, and I don't want us to not talk about the conference. So tell us
the website, www.islandmusicconference.com. So the website is islandmusicconference.com. It tells you how to register. When you go and you click schedule, you will see the over 15 panels that are there. You will see also that there's a songwriting workshop with Stacey Bart and Mikey Bennett. You don't know who Stacey Bart is, go ahead and research that, and you will see why you need to be at that songwriters workshop. In terms of, there's also a trade fair. So all the Jamaican artisans and some Caribbean artisans are there, so that, because we're flying in over 50 persons, this is us showcasing the culture to them and ensuring. And it's also open to the public. It's $500 to get in to the trade fair. You can go, you can purchase Jamaican items, you can purchase Caribbean items. Just a whole lot of some leather handbag that you see Elise.
Oh my God, why I go say so now? You make a confident leather handbag and know the music, you know. Don't make her do that.
But YouTube is there. YouTube is there with a full YouTube day on Wednesday, February 8th. They start at 10 a.m. and they end at 6. They're flying in 5 members. It's all about YouTube. And then TikTok is there. They're doing a TikTok tutorial. We have in the house Meta, and that means that we have IG and Facebook. We have in the house Spotify. We have BMI. We have Ineffable. We have VP. We also, and there's a plethora of people. I know there's not enough time for me to
they're giving us the wrap up. Judy,
and them have to roll out.
My last comment to you is that if this conference can be as exciting as I think it can be, you can't do it once a year. It has to be something like once every 3 months or something. Because
money, they have to roll out the money behind it, because it's no.
All right, and the music that them are playing now. And Judith, can we have another interview about it, please? All right, so all right, fine. This is exciting stuff, very exciting stuff. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm getting the wind-up signal, and this is how we have to say so long. But it's the kind of thing that I'm very excited about. The whole fraternity should be excited about it, and we're just going to tell you more as we get more information from one of the co-founders. We'll just give you to all listeners. All right, bless upon yourself, heart full of love. Have a wonderful weekend. Judy, heart of love.